The very exciting moment has now arrived, dear ladies and gentlemen. We presented you this morning the 4 steps of the day, and we have arrived to the 4th step, which is the launch of the Open Quantum Institute and the presentation of its strategic partners for the first 3 years of the pilot implementation phase. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you to give a warm round of applause, but you already did it, for the strategic partners of the Open Quantum Institute, represented by Federal Councillor Ignacio Cassis for Switzerland, by State Councillor Nathalie Fontenay for the Republican Canton of Geneva, by Professor Fabiola Gianotti for CERN, by Dr. Christian Blum for UBS, and by Peter Brabeck for GESDA. So thank you very much again, and a big warm round of applause. Today, we're launching the Open Quantum Institute, and we're handing it over to its new host, CERN. 1 year ago, when we decided to do the next Geneva Science and Diplomacy Anticipation Summit at this place, it was not clear yet. We didn't know that. But sometimes coincidence is with one. So we are very happy that all came together, and we are ready today to have this ceremony and this celebration together with you at your host, at your place. Thank you very much, Fabiola. The Open Quantum Institute is today at the level that we have discussed the whole day. But the journey started way before, and even way before Peter Brabeck explained this morning. It started with you, Federal Councillor Ignacio Cassis, with your vision to put science at the core of the 21st century diplomacy. May I ask you to share some words with us, please?
So, yes, of course, I'm very glad to address you a small message. First of all and foremost, on behalf of the Swiss government, I'd like to thank the board and the team of GESDA, as well as the CERN, and the many scientists around the world who have contributed to the successful creation of the Open Quantum Institute. Many thanks also to UBS, because without your support, it wouldn't have been possible to be here today. As a politician, but also as a medical doctor, I firmly believe that everyone should have access to scientific progress. That progress should be harnessed for the advancement of humanity and cooperation between nations. And that technology should be used for the common good, not just for economic or military gain. Innovation is not new. Innovation is continuously transforming the relationship between man and machine, the relationship between humanity and its environment, and the way we organize ourselves as a society. In such an ambitious field of action, where nothing less than the future of humanity is at stake, you can count on Switzerland and international Geneva. The field of science diplomacy, born here in Geneva almost 70 years ago with the creation of CERN, is experiencing a second spring and is likely to shape the international Geneva of this early 21st century. Dear guests, what we are doing here is new and therefore difficult. The combination of anticipation, which looks far ahead, and action, which must be immediate, is a challenge in itself. And the method by which we want to build this bridge is new and still untested. Hermann Hesse, a Nobel laureate for literature who spent many years in my village of Montagnola near Lugano, once wrote, "To achieve the possible, we must attempt the impossible. Again and again." It is in this spirit that I am delighted to lay the first stone of the Open Quantum Institute here at CERN today. May it flourish and serve the common good in the decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Federal Councillor. As you know, or might all of you know, GESDA has a strong founder with the Swiss Confederation. And GESDA has a second strong founder with the Canton and Republic of Geneva. So may I give the word to you, Mrs. Fontani.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. We live, I believe, a quite important moment in international Geneva's history. We are trying to create new bridges between science and diplomacy. We also strive to build gateways between present and future. What best place to do this than Science Getaway? Renzo Piano, in its inauguration speech, mentioned that he likes to build bridges, not walls. CERN itself has been represented since its very beginning, an institution of science and diplomacy. For almost 70 years, it is a bridge between the still unknown laws of the universe and our knowledge as human beings. Many have highlighted in the past few days the growing gap between scientific developments and our understanding of them. But Science Gateway's ambition is also to be a bridge towards the public. It reminds us that both science and diplomacy must work for society. That is what we had in mind when we co-founded GESDA, and I'm very happy that its first concrete realization, the Open Quantum Institute, can be developed here at CERN in partnership with other actors of international Geneva and the private sector. International Geneva is a unique center for global cooperation with some 650 players. It offers a wealth of expertise about the main challenges of our times. This goes from climate change to pandemics, education, telecommunication, or humanitarian action, for instance. It is also an ecosystem of innovation that embraces value and works for the benefits of humanity. The Open Quantum Institute embodies these same values by enabling technology to contribute in an open and inclusive way, which means working with public, working with private, working with people, towards achieving the goals of sustainable development. Over the last few days, we've heard a great deal of concern about the state of our world and the permanent crisis in which we find ourselves. We may be living in the tyranny of the present, So let's take the opportunity to act now in favor of our future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Say Councillor. As we've heard during the last 2 days, GESDA have never been set up to operate, it's a double, to operate its initiative, its solution ideas it has. Am I saying double? Do I just hear myself double? Okay, I'm good. Sorry. GESDA has never been set up to operate its own initiatives. We've always been set up to find the best possible partners to host the institutions that we are thinking about, the initiatives that we are working on, to bring them to further maturity and to implement it at scale. And if we think on quantum, who could be the better partner than CERN? So Fabiola, may I give the word to you?
Thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, CERN is very proud and pleased to host the Open Quantum Institute as a 3-year pilot project, and we look forward to working with GESDA, UBS, and all the OQI partners to make sure that this initiative is a great success. And we are so proud and pleased because the objectives of the OQI and the mission and values of CERN are perfectly aligned, as we will see in the coming few seconds. Firstly, at CERN we do fundamental research in particle physics. And the elementary particles that we study do obey to the laws of quantum mechanics. So CERN is actually the largest quantum physics laboratory in the world. Our flagship accelerator, the 27-kilometer circumference Large Hadron Collider, literally runs underneath our feet. Don't be scared, it's not dangerous at all. Secondly, we develop cutting-edge technologies in many domains, including a quantum technology initiatives, to be able to build the instruments that we need for our research goals, but also to share them with society at no cost to the benefit of everyday life. And making sure that society at large, and not just a few, benefit from quantum computing is the main goal of the OQI. Thirdly, training, education, and capacity buildings are part of our core mission. At any given moment in time, we are training something like 4,500 people, including physicists, engineers across a broad spectrum of expertise and competencies, technicians, and administrative personnel. And again, training and education are major components of the OQI. Fourthly, CERN is a brilliant model of collaboration across borders with our community of almost 17,000 people from all over the world and more than 110 nationalities represented. So, in some sense, collaboration across borders is our specialty, is our tradition, is our habit, and the OQI, of course, wants to make the quantum computing and technologies available to everybody, in particular people coming from underprivileged countries. And this brings me to the last point. CERN embraces and promotes open science and open education as knowledge and education accessible to all at no cost is a crucial means to reduce inequalities across the world. And we heard several times this morning how the OQI has the ambition of really avoiding that the digital gap in quantum develops right from the beginning. So you see, it's a perfect match. And also, I would like to, again, thank UBS for their crucial contribution and GESDA for proposing this partnership with CERN, and also for bringing the project at a level of maturity so that implementation can start now. And so, as I said at the beginning, we are going to work together to make sure that the OQI is a great success, but also that it becomes a kind of template, a kind of reference, a kind of model for future science diplomacy initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Viola. If a proof was needed, now we know that CERN is the right host. Thank you very much, Fabiola. As we hear in the debates that it's so important that the future multilateral system is more open to a diversity of actors, and that we set up effective private-public partnerships, sometimes we just say it, but sometimes we just need to do it. And we are very proud in this context that with UBS, we found such a strong and effective private sector partner joining up with the Open Quantum Institute in supporting us in implement the mission. Christian Blum, the word is yours.
So I'm sure there are a few people here in this room who say, oh, we had such nice couple of days. And now they sit the banker on the panel. And I can tell you, bankers are not the most beloved species in the world. And I remember when I was younger, many years back, I used to say, when someone asked me for my profession, I'm a mathematician specialized in probability working in a bank. That is a long time ago. So I'm not ashamed standing here for UBS, and we are proud to be part of that journey. It all started with a Zoom call. I think it was Zoom or Teams, I can't remember, with a lot of people. Matthias was there, different people, showing me the network of GESDA and what is planned and what has been incubated for the OQI. It took me about 10-15 minutes to figure out we are talking about a network of the best of the best. And so when we finished the call, it took much longer. I actually didn't need more explanations. So I was very early on convinced, since I also have a personal interest in quantum computing. We spent a lot of time with use cases already in 2019, but never really came to conclusions. I went back to Sergio Amotti and we discussed, and we decided that we have the intention to finance this for the prolonged time into the future, because we think a commitment to this new technology, which we believe, as it was said this morning, is probably the most disruptive technology of the decade, is very important for us. So now you might ask yourself, bankers are typically people who want to convert everything they do immediately into money. Also here I have to disappoint you. This will not happen, because before quantum computing will be in a state where it can be broadly commercially deployed, that will take a few more years. But what we believe as a firm is, if we don't go on that train right now, be at the forefront of research with strong partners, we might see that the train leaves the station without us at a certain point in the future. And I can tell you from my network in the Group Chief Risk Officer community worldwide, I have a really good network. Almost every large bank is part of that. There is not a single one of my peers who doesn't believe that they better make sure they become quantum ready in their cloud cryptography, in the protection of their data. And I actually like more the word Matthias used in the panel. He spoke about quantum resilience. We have operational resilience, quantum resilience. And we are very committed to be at the forefront of that. That's why we want to finance it. But there's another reason. We are also committed to society. We are committed to sustainability. And in particular, we are committed to Switzerland. And here is an important side fact, which you pointed out in that Zoom call. The CERN clearly is something that distinguishes us from every other scientific research place in the world, because every scientific researcher in physicists or side disciplines will basically do everything to find a place here for research. Here in Switzerland, in Geneva, we are really at the top. There is no other institution who can compete with what the CERN can offer. And that's what I think, with a commitment to Switzerland, to Geneva, and to the CERN, that is another motivation why we are doing this. And I'm personally very happy that I was selected to be the member of the advisory board for that, because of my naturally born nerdy interests in all these type of topics. And I'm very proud to be part of that journey. Thank you very much.
We learned a lot today. Thank you very much, Mr. Blum. So now I would like to give the word and speak on behalf of GESDA to Peter Brabeck, our chairman, and then to symbolically hand over the Open Quantum Institute to CERN as its new host.
Well, thank you very much. I think by now everybody in this room will have realized that the Open Quantum Institute is a real milestone in the young history of GESDA. So I'm not going to talk much more about it, because I think we have been over the last 3 days explaining it from the different angles. But I'm here really to thank everybody who helped GESDA in its way from a think tank to a do tank, which is capable not only of incubating, but also of carrying out large-scale projects like this one we are talking today. So I would like to take a moment to extend my deepest thanks to a few special groups which have made this crucial milestone possible. First of all, I express my sincere gratitude to the founders, Federal Council Ignacio Cassis and State Councilor Nathalie Fontanet, for their unwavering support and trust in GESDA, for their vision and their commitment to our success through the past 4 years. Thank you very, very much. I would like to extend my warmest thanks to the CERN Council, which has approved, 27 states have approved that CERN can become a host for the Open Quantum Institute, and of course the CERN Director General Fabiola Cianotti, who mobilized, I would say, her extraordinary powers of conviction to make CERN the host of the Quantum Institute. Our partnership is invaluable to our shared mission of making technology inclusive and open for everybody. And I'm sure that the Open Quantum Institute can continue to count on the strong support of all the CERN community. My thanks also go to UBS for its multi-year support of the Open Quantum Institute. Your commitment is enabling it to deliver on its global mission to ensure the continued growth of this innovative institute and to put a new multilateral institution in the heart of international Geneva and Switzerland. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the incredible individuals and organizations within the quantum community and beyond who believed from the beginning in this endeavor and which were so important for the success. So together, all of us, we have built a science diplomacy initiative that has transcended the boundaries, as I hope you could see during these days. It is an initiative which is a worldwide initiative. So my gratitude therefore also goes to and extends to the dedicated members of the GESDA board and the team who have worked tirelessly to bring us to this very point. I think the Open Quantum Institute stands as an emblem for GESDA's unique approach. We will always start with solid science by scouting scientific breakthroughs at 5, 10, and 25 years. We will design science diplomacy solution ideas to turn these breakthroughs into opportunities for humanity as an honest broker between science, diplomacy, business, and citizens. And we will continue to incubate these solution ideas with a broad coalition of public and private to test the real-world working modalities. And we will ultimately organize the governance and the funding for the implementation of the initiative. So as CERN is taking the lead in scaling up the Open Quantum Institute, GESDA will remain involved in the project. GESDA will co-chair the Open Quantum Industry Advisory Committee, maintaining continuity with the project design and the community that is supporting us. GESDA will also facilitate the diplomatic collaboration at the Open Quantum Institute. So, Fabiola, if you allow me, if you want to come with me, we don't have a building, we don't have a garden where we can plant a tree, and we don't have a door which we can open, so we have no key. But so, what we have, what do we do? What we have, we can hand over symbolically all what was the work of the incubation, all the thoughts from everybody in a small document, which is the Incubation Report 2023, and the first list of the opportunities of quantum. And with this, I wish you a lot of success, and thank you very much.
Peter. Thanks for support.
May I ask you to go a bit further down and join the other partners to join the picture, please? So if you can just stand a bit together, further down, so the 5 of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, that's why we thought we'd do the launch at the end, because then it's the end, and then we can go and celebrate. If you would do this, have done this earlier, the tension is gone. So we're really coming to the close, but I'm not closing it. I would like to ask our chairman to come back again on stage for his closing remarks before we go for the media to a press conference and for the rest of the participants for a well-deserved lunch. Thank you very much.
Well, you have heard of me already enough, so don't worry, it's not going to be very long. It would be pretentious to try to summarize these 3 days that we have been enjoying here together at our third summit. Just think of today the feedback we received from this extraordinary ministerial panel. But if I go back when I think about the start, where we had this very interesting ethical discussion between the United States representative and China representative on the delicate issue of neuroscience. If I think about the individual presentations which took place from the scientists themselves who were part of this radar, and they explained to us in 15 minutes why and what they are thinking for their research to be, it was just full of ideas that we have been picking up. And I think it will be a big challenge for us at GESDA now to digest all of your input and the recommendations that we have received. So I think as this remarkable summit is coming to an end, so I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and optimism for the future, for science, for humanity. And I think the Open Quantum Institute is the first, hopefully, of many GESDA-born initiatives. Because it's our ambition to replicate this success in other areas highlighted in the Science Breakthrough Radar. We already have a pipeline of solutions, which we have discussed with you and where we have received your feedback. And next in the pipeline are the work on the global curriculum for science and diplomacy, which is in partnership with Wellcome in London, who is financing this initiative. We have announced it at the beginning. And the ongoing work on neuroaugmentation. And I'm thankful to all of you for your active participation during those 3 days to point out where the critical issues of the future development of neuroscience is going to be. And I think we also took away that perhaps you have to put those things, to match these things together with the other challenges which we have through scientific breakthrough, which is artificial intelligence. So this is another area where we are going to work, and hopefully we will be able to, in a year by now, to bring forward ideas for new solutions and to listen then what you think about them. I would also like once more to thank CERN, this time not for the Open Quantum Institute, but for the fact that we were allowed to be here. This building, this gateway, CERN gateway, was inaugurated last Saturday. And we were the very first one who were allowed to use it and to have the privilege to have this wonderful installation for us. So thank you very much. And I would like to thank all of you for being with us during the summit, for the quality of the discussions, and the evidence you give us of your unwavering support and dedication to the cause of science and diplomacy. I think together we have been setting in motion a future which is based on solid science and filled with limitless possibilities. With this thanks, I close our 2023 summit. I thank everybody. I invite you to come over and to have lunch with us. And in some minutes, we are going to have the first press conference here. So by thanking you, I also invite you to leave and to go to the lunch. Thank you very much.